This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so here we are going to learn about how do we analyze the data, machine data with Datadog. When is okay, sorry, I think I open up wrong slides. That's that's let me check. Mm, yeah, now it's correct. Yeah. So from here. So today we are going to understand the log analysis process with Datadog. So for that, I'll use different slides and then come back to the slides, which is here. So yeah, this is the one. So analyzing the logs, which is called log analysis. So first part of the session, which we spend most of the time, was the infrastructure collections. Then we understand the EPM, and then we are trying to understand the log analysis today. So the question is, what is log? What is log? What is log? So guys, anything we do with the machine, it's log basically. Anything, whether you click on the website, it generates logs, system generator logs, network generator log, firewall generator log. So anything which is running with the help of CPU and RAM is generating a logs or can generate a logs. And we want to analyze all these logs. So logs is nothing but a record related to whatever the activities occurring on an information system. So this is a log. Now, log aka machine data is everywhere. In fact, you are generating right now while seeing my screen. And there are different sources of logs are there. For example, IDs, firewall, anti-malware, proxies, network infrastructure, servers, databases, applications, many sources. So machine data and log, yeah, data generated by machines, computer processing, applications, and sensor data, that is called machine data. So what log I'm talking about? Yes, so I'm talking about the server logs and workstation logs, logs from Linux machine, Windows machine, log file, access log file, file system log files. I'm talking about the network related logs like firewall logs, warning logs, alert logs, IP addresses logs. I'm talking about the in terms of database audit logs, configuration logs, schemas logs, table logs, queries logs. I'm talking about the web transaction logs, click stream logs, location logs, browser logs. Yeah. So there are so many places where we have a logs in terms of DevOps, test logs, log4j alerts, event logs, code checking, and stuff like that. IoT logs like GPS logs, RFID logs, biometric logs, biometric logs, temperature logs, limitless, and stuff like that. So yes, security is also one of the fastest growing sector in IT, and that's where also we do the log analysis for the security region. IoT also generate lots of log. So we understand that what is logs and what are the different sources of logs, but why it is important. I think more or less we understand that why it is important. We want to analyze the logs because of production monitoring. We want to analyze the log because of debugging purpose. We want to analyze the log because we want to check the resource uses. We want to check the HTTP errors in the logs, slow queries, rogue automated robots, security issues. So all these things we want to check. But where? So we want to check in the logs. So that is something which why we are trying to set up a log analysis. Many times you want to track your website site perform platform visitors also. You want to see that whether security threat discovery, predicting the security issues and all, log analysis is important. You want to get fetch more information about the network and infrastructure. Okay, so many regions are there. There are many objectives are there. For that you are doing the log analysis. Now next thing is, okay, fine. Let's say you capture the logs. You have stored in the logs. You have stored in the somewhere some tools like a Datadog. Okay. So what you're going to do with it after the storage? What you're going to do with it? Logs. So what kind of changes you may look for in the logs? Again, this is a very conditional question. Why? Because you have a logs for the servers, you have a logs for the infrastructure, you have a log for the network, you have a logs for the apps, all the different tools and stuff at one place. What you want to look for, it depends on your objective, but some of the things which you can use it from these slides to get started. For example, if you want to analyze the logs, look for the logs line where the password got changed, unauthorized login has happened, login failures are there, there's a new login event from the unknown territory, malware detection. Look for the logs where the scan the firewalls and open and close port. Look for the logs for the DDoS attack. Look for the log for the errors on network devices, file name changes, file integrity changes, data exported, new process started or running, process stopped, share access events, and many more. So yeah, depends on the what you want to search for in the logs. You may get into that part. So next thing is, okay, when you look at the log, what are the common field you see in the each logs? Again, this is a very conditional question because the log formats may differ, depends on the whether it's from the system, Linux, Windows, network, Apache, Tomcat, some your custom application or different things. The format may differ, but some of the common fields you may get it in each every lines of the log, and that is like maybe time, source, destination, protocol, ports, username, events, and so on. So these are the common fields in this. Now, so we understood this part also. Now the question is, what are the best practices for the log analysis? Now nowadays, this best practices is is embedded in the tool itself. Okay, so best practices is that one only. So pattern detection and recognitions. So this is the one feature, any tool which you are using it, either you have to do manually or you have to do it through the tools. So pattern detection and recognition. That means the tool which you are using, the tool should be having the pattern detection. That means there are millions of logs, but I want to know the out of millions of log, which is the log of Apache. That's the pattern. Which is the log of Tomcat, which is the log of my application. So that pattern detection you should be having it, and logstash and Datadog it has it. Okay, normalization. Normalization means your tool should help you to normalize your log data. For example, normalization means, if I put it in a simple way, let's say there's Apache log from India and Apache log for US. Same application, you are running the application across region. So in India, the logs, the time format will be in IST. In USA, the time format probably will be in EST or PST. So the question is, we are going to store all this log at one place. How do we create a common time format so while searching, the results will be meaningful? And that's where the normalization required actually. And normalizations, which many of the tools you'll have a built-in functionality and which you can use and get the great amount of processing done. Now, next thing is correlation analysis. Correlation analysis means, see, if you look at the app server, millions of lines you have in that. If you look at the web server, millions of lines you have. If you look at the database server, millions of logs lines you will be having. So the question is, which line of the log in web server is belong to the lines of log in app server of that particular user, and then same logs for the database server? How do we correlate? That's called correlation analysis. So most of the tools you should be having this one, correlation analysis, and Datadog will help you in that categories also. And artificial ignoring, there are lines, some lines which is not making any use, I mean, meaningful message actually, and that tool should be able to ignore that. So these are the some of the best practices for the log analysis, and your tool should be having this kind of functionality so you can use it for the analysis purpose. These are some of the phases: collections of log data, cleaning of the data, converting into structured format, analysis of data, obtain results, and so on. So what are you going to do? Generate, collect, aggregate, normalize, alert, store, baseline, and make conclusion and act on it. So these are the log analysis pages that you have. Now the question is, which are the options available for the log analysis tool? There's so many options. You have a Datadog, Neuralink, Splunk, Elasticsearch, Greylog, Log.js, and all. Many tools are there which can do the log analysis. So which one we are learning? We are learning as part of this session, Datadog. So flow, the workflow is like simple: ingest logs, index logs, and visualize logs. That is what we have it in the Datadog. So this is the things. So far what we understood is what is log, why this log analysis is important, what are the different sources of logs, what are the best practices of the logs, what are the tools which we have for the log analysis. Any questions so far, guys? Any questions so far? All of you? Am I audible, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So now next thing is, how do we get started with the log management with Datadog? So let's discuss some of the stuff here. So log management with Datadog we use for the rapid troubleshooting. Let me tell you here, in terms of log management, the best solution which you have right now in the market is Splunk. In fact, if you're not liking Splunk, maybe ELK also you can use it, Elasticsearch. So you must be thinking, like, why we are using Datadog then for the log analysis? Because of we want to set up a observability, which I discussed in the first session only. So we need a tool who can do the infra monitoring, we can do the log monitoring, we can do the APM monitoring, we can do the synthetic monitoring, we can do the network monitoring, we can do the security monitoring, everything. And Datadog is the right solution for everything. So here, log management feature, what you have in the Datadog, helps us to achieve the full observability and everything at one place, unifying all the three pillars of observability at one place. Again, it has a seamless integration with some third-party tool like Logstash, RSysLog, Fluentd, and also. You can also customize the output based on the some of the pipeline and stuff like that. And of course, you have a visualization and analytics. So these are the main regions which we have in place. So for that, we do the log analysis. Next thing is how do we feed the data into the Datadog? So let's go and spend some time on each and everything one by one. So first thing, I'm going to teach you how to send logs, send you logs to the Datadog manually. So these slides will help me here. So look at this here. This is the way to send the logs in the system. So we are using Telnet. This is the API address for the US data center of Datadog. This is the default port, and this is my keys. So let me go for Datadog HQ login, and here we have a 3 days to left for this trial, so we need to finish this stuff as soon as possible. So here else I'll use all the data which I have used it for this session. API key. See, this key has been compromised, so both are flagging leaked. I'm going to create a new one. This is for log demo, and copy the key, and here you have this one. And the key which has been compromised, I can delete this. and this one. Okay, so yeah, wherever you have used this key, you have to change it. Not a problem right now. It's not important. This is my key. I'm going to change it also. So now, first thing is let's go to logs here. So you'll get here log search. For you will not be disabled. I have some logs already in place. I use this account for a few more demos in Datadog. So I have a few lines already in place, but these are the logs which is coming also. I'll show you how it's coming. But my priority is to get this log done. So this I'm customizing the message. This is a demo by Raj on 26th August. Okay, so these are the work I've done it. You can label it multiple, whichever you want. DD source, host name, and blah blah blah. So let me run this code from any Linux machine where the telnet is there, or Windows also. Telnet is not here. So what do we do? So install. It should be there. Not sure why it's not there. So install telnet in CentOS 7. So the utility for installing the telnet in this probably is this one. Let me check this. Done. So now I'm going to copy this code, enter, connected. Now this is the whole line. I'm going to feed it and enter. Okay, I did this. After this, I'll add one more line. This is demo 2. Done. Can we check now whether the log has come or not? So refresh. And here, log has come here. If you see that, the user service is user, here it is. So here one log has come, and this was here. This is the line. You can see that message. This is the user service. This is the source. You can see that here. User sorry, service user, host name, and source is customized. Here terminal, sorry, that is not a line, I guess. So let's wait for it. This is the one. This is the demo by Raj. Here it is, and this is the second one. So this is the way you can feed manually if you want. So what is the other ways to do that? What are the other ways to do that? So for other ways, we have a curl also. This is the curl also you can try. Let me feed this also. See this curl, and keys has to be updated, and this is a API call. Right now I'm not working for US 5. US, it's the main one, so I'll just remove it. I remember that, so that's the reason I'm blindly do that. You can validate through the website. And here, source, tags, host name, message, all this thing you have it here. And clear the screen, enter. Now let me check it out. Refresh. And let me check, still has not come. You should see the message, which is this one. hello world or something like that. So what is the source nginx? So see that here service is payment. So let it come. It takes some few seconds to display. Here it is. You got this. So using the curl also you can send this. So now you must be wondering, Rajesh, okay, fine. You are showing me and the data is going all these places, but where can we use this command line and telnet? So basically command line like a curl and telnet you can use in the further program actually. So if you want to send some custom logs to the Datadog for the processing through the applications and all, you can embed this command in the programming language itself. So those are things. Now the question is, how do we get the infrastructure log, network log, Windows log, all these things? How do we do that? And that is where we need to look for the next section, and that is called agent. So now this is the one. So sending logs to the Datadog using agent. Yes, you can use the agent also for sending a log. Agent can send the log. In fact, you know, integration, the one which you did it, Apache, Tomcat, Docker, Kubernetes, all these things, those also can send a logs. Okay, so the question is how? So for that, let's have some of the copy things here and let's put it up here. Okay, so first thing you have to do installing the Datadog agents. If you look at this machine, the Datadog agent is already installed, which we have shown you multiple times. So if you see here, data installed. Now there's only one thing that because the key I have deleted it, I'm going to update the key and restart the Datadog agent. So etc Datadog datadog.yaml, and this key I deleted in the Datadog, so not used anymore. So I'm going to change this key with the key. I don't know whether it's right key or not. I'll just copy it. And sorry. So here it is. So that I copy the key, saved it. Systemctl restart data dog -agent, done. Okay, so now this is done. After that, let's check the status. Of course, it's running right now. So it's taking a little time. See, yeah, all these things okay. Now, how do we enable the logs now? So first thing, I told you agent should be enabled for the log. So how do we do that? So to enable this, etc Datadog agent, Datadog YAML file, and here go to the bottom sections of these things. So let's say I want to go to the bottom section. So let's go dollar here somewhere bottom section. From there, go up little bit up because it's a pretty long file. So this is the easiest way. Else, if you remember a section log something like that, then you can go for that also. So I'm just checking it. This is the open telemetry configurations. This is network configurations. This is Kubernetes configuration. This is Kubernetes again, and container integrations, CRI integrations. So a lot of entries, CCS integrations, and then Docker integrations, and now container integrations, config integrations, auto config integrations. So a lot of entries are there, and this is one which I was looking for it. Login configurations. So what you need to do, you do need to enable it. How do we enable it? So for that, okay, my bad. Logging and log is a different thing. So I was looking for the wrong logging, no, log configurations. So JMX configurations here you have. Log stash D. It's too much actually. Process collections, my God. Upskick, and I think this is the one. You can search for it. Trace. And here it is. So this is called, this section called log collection configurations. So agent, you need to enable it for collecting the log. By default, it's disabled. So here I have to enable it. Now we'll say, Rajesh, it's already enabled, log enabled true. Actually, I did it in the last session. So by default, this line will be commented and false. So I just made it. Will you remember this step? All of you? Hello. I'm audible, all of you? Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So this is log enable true. Now this is the lots of other options are there right now. Just leave it. And after that, you have to restart your agent. Okay. So this is also done. You did this step also. Now you have to go and create the configuration for it. So where do you create a configuration? Of course, you know that. So etc Datadog agent conf.d, and here you have to create a configuration. So let me tell you the configuration for collecting the logs. You can create in any of this integration. But what I decided, let's keep all the configuration at one place only. So which place? So I created one directory. Look at my screen very carefully. I created one directory named with this one. So this directory is already existing in this web machine. So here you go here, and here it is. Now after that, I created one file, and in the content of the file, I have it this way. That means if you want to collect if you want to tell agent, hey agent, please collect some logs. So you have to use a section called logs after enabling the logs monitoring. So here what you want to monitor, what you want to collect. So here you want to collect some file, and this path can be anything, any files which you can allow the agent to collect and send it to Datadog with some of the tagging, labeling, and all stuff like that. You can use it. Okay. So if you want more files, you can keep adding this entry more. And here it can be file, it can be TCP, here it can be UDP also. Okay. So here right now I'm putting a file because we need a file, not a UDP and all. And after that, start the agent. Okay. So here, that is what I'm trying to do. So if you see that this file has an entry conf.yaml, and you see logs, I'm trying to collect the logs from all the log file inside this directory. Again, file, this is the access log of Apache, and this is the this is the error log of Apache. So the here environment prod and all these things. So this one log, two log, and few log files from here with some regular expression pattern. So now these are the logs I'm collecting through the agent. This is enabled actually, and after that you have to restart the agent. So now, did you understand that why this log has come here? because it was already generating it. My agent was already generating it. Did you understand, all of you? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now the question is, we have generated a lot of log like that. You can add a more entries. Actually, it's up to you. So after that, how to use this? How to use this? So this UI you need to learn. So here, that is where this, I think here you have a live trail. You can see the live data which is coming. Okay, so I don't know whether services is running or not. Let me see that. So system CTL start HTTPD, and here watch curl HTTP localhost. So I'm creating a traffic every 2 seconds, and you see started coming. This is the HTTP traffic. So logs is started. See this live trailing actually. So whatever the traffic I'm making through the curl is coming here. So you can see the live. You can see from last 15 seconds, whichever the log has 15 minutes, sorry, it has come, and you can change that whatever you want. So now if you see the left side here, you have a lots of options to filter the log. So you may have a multiple indexes. You can filter by source. Right now I have a 4 source: Apache, Terminal, Custom, Nginx. If you look at my code here, this file here, so there I was having the multiple sources. See here, this is source. So you can filter. You have a filter by index, filter by source, filter by host, filter by service, filter by status, filter by web access. What kind of log? It's browser or client IP or devices or methods, operating systems. These all are automatically pre-populated. So a lot of filters are there. Each lines also, click on it, you will see the detail of it. Views in the context. See, so one line you will see look at the search for this pattern. One line you are seeing, and which has everything. See, and you see the host, service, source, alt other tags, and has some informations, which machines and all stuff like that. So this is the one. Now if you look at this part, here, so how this has been grouped, the logs can be grouped into, see here, grouped into fields, or you want pattern or transaction. Transaction you won't get it right now because we don't have a multiple services related to each other and session ID and all it's matching. But fields and pattern you can see that. So if you want to see that, right now you'll see the fields. These are the fields: date, host, service, content, message, all these fields. You can see that here, which is enabled. You can do little operations also like that. Okay, show me the fields. Group into fields, okay, but show what? Count of what? All logs. Or source, count of source. How many? 2 sources are there. Count of what? Host, I think 2 hosts are there. Count of environment, I think 1 environment, production environment. Okay, so here just like that, if you want to see some here, some particular field, and if you want to again by, you want to see that by source, you see, by host, multiple entries if you have it, count of all logs by source. So total many logs in the last 15 minutes, you have 136, and by source, no, sorry, by host. So here you have by host. So you have a different visualizations. So different pictures you may generate as per your requirement. Here you can also remember that in the best practices I talked about it, pattern matching and detection. So these are the things which we have. These are the, I got a 104 line in last 15 minutes in this pattern and 56 line in this pattern. The unique pattern you have it. So tool is doing for you, and you have to analyze this all this thing. And what you are supposed to do. So you remember that one slides I showed you already. What you are supposed to do. You're supposed to find out the issues in the code. This one. What to look for in the logs. Okay. So this is the one. Let me cancel this and transaction. Transaction you don't have it because they are not multi-service. So if you look at this here, yes, you can group the logs by the fields, by the patterns, by the transactions. Now also you can see the logs, visualize the logs by list, times reach, top list, table, and all stuff like that. So let's look at this here. You can visualize the list which you are seeing here. Let me cancel this transaction. And by times reach, here you have a times reach. By top number of list which you got it. Table, tree map view. So different visualizations you have. Now the question is this one, how do we search for it? So I need to talk about the search techniques. So whatever you see that you call it a facade, source colon whatever the value, that's called a facade. Host colon, service colon, status colon, all the fields which you use it, we call it facade. So how do we search for it? And that we need to learn a little bit of it. So here primarily when you search, you can search for the one term actually. So single term if you are searching, so single term you are searching, for example here from last one day, here I'm searching what, let me disable this fields list only. I'm searching for anything which is error. So how many search results you got it? There's no error actually. So this is a single term search. Let's say I'll search for Apache and I got Apache also is not showing anything. Should be something else. So Raj, I think I got a 2 entries sorry, where the content is having the Raj or HTTPD. Let me search. No, HTTP. Yeah, so many entries you have in HTTP. So this is a single search. But what about if you search double? I mean, you want to do the multiple strings, what to do? So here I search for two things. See, if I say by Raj, this will be different. But if you want to search by Raj, like this, see. So two string you can search like this. Okay, this is the two string. Now there's a few more patterns which we have. So you can use and or exclusion. And means, let me put it in simple way Google, because I don't have so much of data in Datadog, but the operators are same, acting like same. So see here, I'm searching DevOps and, mind it here, DevOps and DevSecOps. Here is the AND operator. Okay, now if you look at the results here for the AND, these are the results has come. So see here you have a DevOps also, DevSecOps also, DevOps also, DevSecOps also, here DevOps also, DevSecOps also. So here is AND operator, here AND operator, but what I'll make it OR. And let's look at this, some of the results and study over there. See here. So if you see that here is OR when we use it. So here you have a DevOps, DevSecOps, and here you have a DevOps, DevSecOps both, because maybe this ranking is high, but here you see DevSecOps only. Okay, this is the exception. Ranking is so high, so it's being placed. So this is something which you have to do. but you want to see some exclusion. Exclusion means here in Datadog, how do we exclude? So here hyphen. Okay, so you can, I don't know if it will work in Google, and or is working in Google, I know that. So here I want the DevOps, all the results, and not DevSecOps. So can you search for it? Okay, no, it's not working in this. So yes, in this Datadog it will work. So when you want to search all the logs, the place where we have authentication keyword, but not with a password, so you can use exclusion. So this is the facade. You can see autocomplete also. So the moment you go and search for it here autocomplete, you'll get it also. Let me refresh. It's not coming actually. See here. So this autocomplete option means it will give you the suggestion what you can write. These are the fields. By this you can search for it, the logs, durations, and all stuff like that. That is also available. You can use a skipping character also. Let's say you are searching for some of the special character. So for that you have to use a skipping character. So for that you have to use the /. For example, see here, you want to search something like a user is equal to Jane Doe. So it's a string actually. It's not like something like a facet. So how do you set the escaping character? This is the escaping character for us. Okay, so you can do the facet search also. These are some of the facet search way. Again, this is a range, you see 200 to 299. This is a range. You want to search for it. You can use the regular expression also. So use the facet field service :web star, means anything with the service named with web and anything after that is coming. Give me the results. Here, this is a string search. This is also a string search. Anything starting with anything, ending with web. Here, starting with a web, ending with anything. So wildcard searches also you can try for it. You can also use the numerical values while in searches. So this is the facade at the rate of HTTP. This is the field, and it should be greater than. Give me that all the logs which has a this particular facade has a greater than 100. Give me all the status code, the lines with the status code where the code is between the range of 400 to 499. So you can use a less than, greater than, equal to, less than, greater than, equal to. Also, all this thing you can use it. You can also search by tags. So, okay, so that is also possible. So this is the log management capability of Datadog. Any questions you guys have? Any questions? Okay, so next session which we are going to have it, which is synthetic monitoring and RUM monitoring, that we'll have in the next. After that, synthetic and RUM will migrate to the setting up the alerts, which is here, and then after that we'll get into the dashboard. Okay, so any questions before we wrap up the session?